So hello friends, myself SD Patil. So today we are just going for our next test. So in the chapter number 2, that is the mechanical properties and their testing. Up till now we have seen about the tensile test, then the compressive test, then we have seen the stress strain curves. Then in the last lecture we have covered about the bending test, how the bending test has been carried out and what are the different types of the bending tests are there. And then we have seen the demonstration of the bending test. So in the today's lecture we will just go with our new testing method, that is the torsion test. So basically, that why the torsion test is carried out or what is the meaning of torsion. So before going to know about this particular torsion test, first you should know about what is the meaning of torque. So I think that torque concept that you have seen in the engineering mechanics, so basically, or in the physics also, you have just gone through this particular concept, that is about the torque. So basically how the torque is applied and what is the exact the phenomena of that particular torsional testing. In this particular lecture just we are going to complete what is the meaning of torsion and how the torsional test has been carried out, and then we will just go with the basically the objective of the torsion. So in the simple manner, when we are talking about the torque, so basically the torque is nothing but the force applied into the perpendicular direction of the force. So it is just a product of force applied into the perpendicular direction of that particular force, that is the distance of that perpendicular, the distance where we are applying the force. So this objective of this particular lecture, or we can say the test, is to study the torsional stress strain relationship and determine the shear modulus, that is G, and Poisson ratio. So why this particular test is conducted, that is when we want to determine the shear modulus. So there are the two kind of that models that we have seen. One is the modulus of elasticity, which is known as an E, and basically the stress strain curve that we have just formed, that stress strain curve, just to calculate the modulus of elasticity. So similarly, like a modulus of elasticity, here we need to find the shear modulus, that is G. So in case of modulus of elasticity, the modulus of elasticity basically it is just a ratio of tensile stress to the tensile strain. Here the shear modulus, it is just a ratio of shear stress to the shear strain. So this is just a difference between the modulus of elasticity and shear modulus. So once again I will tell you, modulus of elasticity, it is just related with the tensile stress to the tensile strain, and the shear modulus, it is related with the shear stress to the shear strain. So these are the ratios, and here then we are calculating the Poisson ratio through the torsional test. Then the second objective of this particular study, it is related to the qualitative, the relationship between the torsional load and the angle of twist for a full range of strain till failure. So basically whatever may be the relationship it is there, when how much load we are applying, so that load to the angle of twist, that is the relation we are going to observe in this particular test. And third, the objective is to determine the mode of the failure, that is for the ductile and brittle material. So how the mode of the failure it is there, and for that purpose we will see the exact how that particular test has been carried out for the brittle material. So we will take the example of cast iron for the brittle material, and for the ductile material we will take the example of the steel. So this is the schematic diagram for the torsional test. So this is the machine, and on this particular machine we are just conducting the torsional test. So basically here we can be able to observe one motor. This is the display panel for the torsional test, and here we can be able to see the specimen where we are producing the torque. So basically this one end is the fixed end, and through the second end we are applying the force on this particular component. So how exactly that torsion has been carried out on that real test, we can be able to know this. So here basically some weights are applied just to apply the proper loading conditions on that particular specimen. So this is the diagram for the torsional testing machine. So the determination of this particular G, that is shear modulus, how basically the shear modulus has been calculated. So here we are using the Hooke's law in a shear just to calculate the shear modulus. So Hooke's law is an approximation that states that the amount by which a material body is deformed, that is the strain, is linearly related to the force causing the deformation. So here we can be able to observe that how much force we are applying, that will be related, so or that force is caused just for the linear deformation. So this linear deformation in this particular diagram we can be able to observe. So this is just a formula to calculate the shear stress. So shear stress is basically how we can be able to calculate the shear stress. So that is the shear modulus of elasticity, or that is only we can say the shear modulus into that mu. So that mu is nothing but basically that mu is nothing but here the shear strain. So that strain we are calculating first of all by using, so shear modulus is the slope of the linear portion of the shear stress to the strain of a material. So these are the formulation for the determination of G. So basically the shear stress tau, it has been calculated by the T into R upon J. So T is nothing but the torque, how much torque we are applying on this. Then R, this is related with the radius. So here in this particular diagram we can be able to observe the radius. So this radius we are taking as a perpendicular distance also, and this J, it is just a polar moment of inertia. So this polar moment of inertia J is equal to pi into d raised to 4 divided by 32. So the second calculation that we are going to do, that is the angle of twist. So these are the phenomena that just we are going to calculate the things. So the angle of twist phi is we have calculated by the formula T into L divided by J into G. So J into G is the torsional rigidity concept. So through this we are just going to calculate the angle of twist, and the shear strain, that is mu, is equal to phi into R divided by L. So these are the some formulation just to calculate the terms, that is the shear stress, angle of twist and shear strain. So basically all those calculation we are going to conduct in the practicals. There is no any kind of any formulation and calculation in case of the theoretical classes. So only the need how it has been just conducted when we are applying some sort of that torque on this particular component, the twist has been carried out, and this particular Q point, it has been shifted to the Q1, that is because of that twist. So these are the formulation for the calculations. So this is the shear stress to the strain curve for the metallic material. So here the graph is plotted of shear stress against the shear strain. Now determination of Poisson ratio. How the Poisson ratio has been calculated? That is by the Denius Poisson. He has denoted by the symbol mu, and the elongation produced by the axial tensile force in the direction of the force, that is x-axis, is accompanied by the contraction in any transverse direction. The transverse direction we are considering here, that is y and z axis. So here we can be able to see it, y and z axis. So all those formulation, that is here in this particular equation, we are getting the relationship between E and G. E is nothing but the modulus of elasticity. G is the shear modulus, or we can say modulus of rigidity. So just once again, I am explaining this particular term. E is nothing but the modulus of elasticity, or again it is called as a Young's modulus, and G is called as a shear modulus, or it is called as a modulus of rigidity. So this is the relationship between, this is the equation of relationship between modulus of elasticity to the shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. So here how it has been expressed. So it is just a mathematical re-terminology of this particular material, that equations. Then this is the mode of the failure under the torsion. So how exactly the failure mode? So this is very interesting phenomena, and in the that particular videos also we will see the failure phenomena for the ductile material and for the cast iron material. So basically the ductile material fails in a shear when it is subjected to the torsion. The specimen will break along a plane perpendicular to its longitudinal axis. So this is the failure mode. So specimen will be break along the plane. So this will be the plane and break along the plane perpendicular to its longitudinal axis. So this will be the plane and it is just perpendicular to the longitudinal axis. So this is the failure mode for the ductile material. So exactly by conducting the test, how this failure mode we are achieving, that we will see in that particular video. And this is the failure mode for the brittle materials. So the brittle materials are generally weak in a tension than in shear. So this is about the brittle materials. So basically these are the weak in a tension than in a shear. When the subjected to the torsion, a specimen tends to break along the surface which are perpendicular to the direction in which the tension is maximum. So this is the pattern. So these are the torque applied, T into T naught, that is equal and opposite torque. Here also we can be able to see T and T naught, or that T dash you can say. So this is the failure mode for the brittle material. Now the very interesting phenomena we are going to see in this torsional test. So here we can be able to observe how the phenomena has been there. So here the demonstration we are just going to see for the cast iron and 0.4% steel. So this is the component. Basically for two components we are going to take for this particular test. This is the component of cast iron and this is the component of steel basically. So how the test is exactly carried out for the cast iron and what is the mode of the failure for the cast iron, that we are going to see. This is the very uh, mm, what we can say advanced torsion testing machine, and only how the failure pattern we are going to get in this particular test, that we are only observing in this particular test. So first of all, this one revolution in this, it indicates the 0.3 degree on a output shaft. So one revolution in this particular phase, it gives the reading of 0.3 degree, and here we can be able to get the whatever may be the torque, that is in terms of Newton meter. Okay, so the unit for the torque is the Newton meter, that is because force into the perpendicular distance. So force we are measuring in the Newton, and into means it is the multiplication of that particular distance. So distance we are going to measure in the meter. So the unit of torque will be Newton meter. So the first test, it is conducted on the cast iron. So this is the rod of cast iron, how the exactly the test has been carried out. So here there is no any initial movements. So it is just a sensitive machine. That's why we are getting some sort of that reading likewise. Now the actual force is going to apply on the cast iron rod. Now here we can be able to observe slowly that torque will be goes on increasing, and here also the revolution is started. So initially the gradual force, that is slowly that force is applied, so it can be able to build the torque along this particular components. So very slow revolution is carried out. Here also we can be able to see this particular, that disk is just having some sort of that very small rotations, and now this torque has been reached almost up to the 9.5 Newton meter. Now here we are going to apply the force with some sort of that faster rate. So here we can be able to see that very faster revolutions are carried out on the cast iron. Now this is the failure, how it has been failed. So this has been dropped, torque has been dropped, and this is the failure pattern of the cast iron. So which is we have seen in case of brittle material. Now here we are just applied the steel bar, and now the torque will be built on that particular steel bar. Now slowly torque and this particular revolutions are increasing. So now torque is almost reached up to the 6.7 likewise, and here the number of revolution are again increasing. Now here because of the ductility it is having some sort of a twisting. So now torque is constant, only the number of revolution is carried out, means we are getting the point of failure over here. The torque is not building, but only the rotations are there, that is it will be gets twisting, and suddenly this particular component will gets failure at any time. Now the torque is dropped, it means we are getting the failure mode very near, and suddenly to any point this particular component will be gets failed. So we can be able to again get the failure pattern for the steel rod. So cast iron, that we have seen for the previous specimen how the failure pattern it is there, and which we have discussed earlier also related to the cast iron. So slowly again the torque is now constant, and here we can be able to see this particular location some sort of that heavy twist is occurred. Now the reading is dropped, and here we can be able to see the failure. So this is the closer look of the test specimens. So here we can be able to see this is the failure for the cast iron rod. This will be the pattern for cast iron, and this is the failure for 0.4% carbon steel. So similarly in this previous slide, this is for the ductile material, means steel, same kind of that failure we have got, and this is the failure for the brittle material. Now in generally how this particular test is carried out, that we are going to see in this particular video. So this is the just realistic machine, how the test has been carried out. So it has been applied. So this is the rectangular component. So this is the test on the realistic component, and this particular component is of steel, that is the ductile material. And now we can be able to observe how the torque has been applied and how the twisting has been carried out. Now here we can be able to see the twisting is carried out. This particular mode is the fixed, or we can say this is the fixed jaw, and this is having the rotations. So here the twisting we can be able to see. So in the when we want to just drain the water from the cloth. In our home we are doing this particular practice. We are holding that particular cloth in our one hand and we are just twisting that cloth by the second hand. So this is just phenomena of applying application of the torque. Similarly here you can be able to observe this. Suppose this is one cloth and it has been held by the one hand, and the second hand, if it is applying the some sort of a torque, in this way we can be able to see that particular cloth is there and the water is draining out, right? So this phenomena we are just applying in our day-to-day life also, but here we can be able to just see how the torsional pattern we are getting, whatever the particular point is there, that has been shifted to somewhere else, and this particular twisting is occurred in the component. So the torque is gradually building, and in some point somewhere we will get the failure of that particular component. So after reaching some point, similarly like a cloth, it has been reached to its maximum limit, the water drain is totally stops, so there will be no any further water that has been drained through that particular cloth. Definitely some sort of that moistures are there, but the water will not be drained. Similarly here, when it will be reached to its, just see now the failure, it has been occurred, suddenly some sort of that jerk we have observed, and that failure is occurred near to this particular jaw itself. So this will be a failure mode of the component. So here we have to remove this particular component from this particular jaw, so we will get the failure pattern. So this is the graph what we are going to achieve, that is the torque versus the twisting length after conducting the torsional test. So this twist will be in the radian per inch, and the torque, that is either it may be measured into the Newton meter. So I think you have just enjoyed this particular lecture and you have just understood how the torsional test is carried out, and for the next lecture we will just go with the hardness testing. So there are different kind of that hardness testings are there. So in the next lecture we will just see those hardness tests. So thank you very much for listening this particular lecture with a interesting mood. Thank you very much.